So Luddites beware, tune in to Tommy.
Hi guys, so I work for a company called Holition. We see ourselves as an R&D laboratory for bespoke digital experiences. We work with a range of different brands, from UniQlo to Louis Vuitton, normally specializing in luxury. And we're at the moment in an interesting place because there's no written rule book for digital in-store. We're almost kind of making it up and experimenting as we go along. So I'm going to talk to you about some of the past, the present, and how we see the future going based on some of the learnings that we've incurred during the process. So I've been at Holition for about 4 years. We still consider ourselves as a startup. We've been going about 5 years. We're growing up a bit more. We're just about coming out of being a startup now, but we started with projects for, this is one for TISO, where we did augmented reality try-on, so you could virtually see a watch on yourself online before buying. The idea to encourage e-commerce in store. Not the most exciting idea, but at this stage, luxury brands were still kind of dipping their toes in digital. And following the virtual try-on, we did something for Boucheron where you could virtually try the rings on. And this is about 4 years ago. The interesting thing about this was Boucheron is one of the oldest luxury brands to exist. I think they're about 150 years old. And this installation was in Place Vendôme in Paris. So it was actually quite a dramatic statement for them to go ahead and use AR to virtually try on jewelry when all the other brands they were surrounded by are all about the physical product. So again, for Boucheron to kind of take part in this journey with us was a really kind of interesting experience. And then we're getting closer to the kind of in-store experiences. So not just online, not just outside of stores, but actually getting digital in-store. So we worked with Ogre Reaction to create a virtual try-on for Triumph, which was kind of a bit of fun for Helena Christensen's new line of underwear, where you could virtually drive an avatar and select the underwear to try on. Of course, you're not going to want to see yourself in underwear in a public space, so it's an avatar. And actually the psychology behind it was quite interesting. Do people want to see an avatar that isn't their body shape? It was a solution derived from pushing this virtual try-on thing, which is a big thing at the moment, and there's a lot of research being pushed into it. So that was interesting, but actually getting brands to engage with digital in-store and get close to a brand in-store was the aim behind this kind of project. This is one for Vans, where we're tracking the body and getting the Vans to virtually fit on your feet. The cool thing about this was you don't have to kind of waste 5-10 minutes trying on a collection, asking the sales staff to go around the back and get your size, which could encourage you to try on patterns or shapes or colors that you might not normally try on that actually look really cool on you. And again, it was a bit of fun in which, if the next slide comes on, in which we got a lot of great feedback on social media. So people just taking photos, having fun, sharing it, and this kind of the idea of social multiplication, and this just feeding itself out and living and growing without us pushing it too hard. Just from having a new innovative experience in store was really cool. So as we kind of, all these projects are a couple of years old, as we're going along this kind of journey, sometimes we think that technology is a solution looking for a problem, and as a tech company, we're fairly technology agnostic. We think that almost the technology should be invisible, and it's about a beautiful experience, it's about a cool experience, it's about getting closer to the brand. And some of the digital barriers that we've hit, and we've seen other people hit as well, are complex user experience. Sometimes people are almost afraid to interact with digital things in store. If it's not their iPhone, it's not their iPad. How do you encourage people to actually approach these screens, approach these forms of technology, just by not overwhelming them, or maybe encouraging to use it by using reactive experiences instead of interacting, so to remove those barriers. Also, unbeautiful experience. Again, there's people out there who put tech out there for tech's sake, which we have also been guilty of in the past. But it's about creating a beautiful experience. At the end of the day, if it doesn't look as beautiful as the real product, then it doesn't add any value to the brand whatsoever. And finally, the distraction of mobile. So actually using things like iBeacons and stuff. I don't think we're quite there yet. We're quite there yet with iBeacons. And why do you want people going around your store kind of looking down at a phone distracted? You want people to be engaged and immersed in your area. So the first point I made, complex user experience, this is a quote that I really like from Bruce Lee, simplicity is the key to brilliance, which I think Apple hit really well with all their UI, UX design, which made them so different from Android, from their competitors, with such a simple UI and UX that it almost felt natural to use. And some bad experiences of this are people like to use this term omni-channel technology. An example of this is Marks and Spencer's, who are pushing tech, which is a great thing, but they just have a series of screens and iPads displaying product catalogs, and actually they're untouched. They are untouched. They're not used or at all by people. People aren't that fussed by it. So again, it's this idea of using tech for tech's sake, and a bit of an odd, jarring user experience that isn't completely immersive. So with that in mind, we built a project for Louis Vuitton at the townhouse in Selfridges. So this was the design of the store, which was really beautiful. And we built an interactive touch table. The difference between this and just being an online product catalog is that we worked very closely with all the sales staff from the word go, developed all the UI and UX as a tool to help and assist the sales staff. As much as the MD of Louis Vuitton might think that every sales member can remember 4,000 products, that's not actually the case. So we created this kind of cool touch tables to help them inspire new gift selections for consumers, and they had these kind of like mini Louis Vuitton handbags which you could place on the table. It recognized the handbag and recommended you similar gifts based on that handbag, and just fun, very simple things using tactile elements as well, not just a screen that you touch, actually physically picking this bag up and placing it on the table, and it recognizes and inspires new ideas from this. Was quite a cool experience. So the second point, technology has to be beautiful. There's a lot of R&D going into virtual try-on, which, as you can see from this photo, it's not quite there yet. It doesn't look great, and we're just not there technologically. The materials don't look like real materials. The tracking doesn't look like real tracking. It kind of unfits you. Like, you're not going to be inspired to purchase product from an experience like this. With that in mind, we were approached by a brand called UniQlo to do virtual fitting. And so this was our solution to get around it, in which we weren't tracking or overlaying a virtual garment. We were simply color changing. So almost like green screen technology, someone could put on a UniQlo jacket or a UniQlo t-shirt and seamlessly see the color transform in this kind of mirrored installation, which fitted into the store really nicely in San Francisco. And the great thing about this is you can see the color, the texture shine through. It looks realistic. It looks like it's really on you. So again, it's an accurate representation of the product, which I think is really, really important, which some of the virtual tracking isn't hitting at all at the moment. So again, we pride ourselves on creating beautiful experiences and over using tech because it's a cool bit of tech. And oh, look, it kind of tracks you, but not quite. And again, this did really well, talking about the simplicity of user experience through social media. They didn't really plug it at all via video or promo online. Yeah, a couple of girls, the first day it launched, walked in, started using the mirror, recorded themselves, put it on YouTube, and within a couple of hours, we had 160,000 YouTube hits. So the fact that people were encouraged to just come in, try it out, and share the experience themselves without that being driven, I think is really important. Talking about the beauty of our products, we've just developed a thing called Face. So again, like UniQlo, it just replaces, using facial tracking, we can replace the color of the lips, blusher, eyebrows, have a video here. Okay, the video's not working, but yeah, no, essentially it replaces you can try on blusher, you can try on lipstick, but the cool thing about it is it looks completely seamless. It looks like it's really there, which again, some of these virtual try-on products just don't quite have yet. Sorry, it's frozen. Let's go to the next one. Okay, cool.
Is that? There we go.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So it's playing now. So this is an example of face. This is one of our promo videos for it. So the idea that you can try it on in your natural environment, on your way to work, have the idea of having a beauty counter in the palm of your hand, which we really like. And so yeah, as you can see, it tracks you in real time and composites these effects over your face. So you can, the idea that brands could integrate this into their m-commerce. We're working with a couple of brands at the moment so that you don't have to try it, you don't have to go in store to try it, you can try it just via your mobile and purchase it instantly. So that's the kind of out of store experience. But again, within retail, mobile can become a distraction. This is a quote from Kate Bush relating to her gigs. I very much want to have contact with you as an audience, not iPhones, not iPads, not cameras, which I think is really poignant. And we want to bring people into store and inspire people, not have people kind of looking down at their phone, being bugged by notifications. With that in mind, this is a project we did for List, which didn't use any screens, it didn't use any visible technology, it was just a projection. So List is a company based in Shoreditch. They are created search engine for fashion. And this is a data visualization we provided for these guys. So they deal with a huge amount of data, 100,000 items of clothing per second. And we were tasked to visualize this. So what you're seeing here is a series of concentric rings. On the outside, you have the brand names, followed by the color, followed by the price. So actually, you can begin to forecast trends and patterns within the data that they're seeing. And this idea of visualizing big data is, I think, really powerful, and seeing how the store, is doing, how the online sales are doing, and who's buying what and when, and for it to be visualized in a really beautiful, easily understandable way. With no barrier of technology, there's a lot of tech behind this. It's pulling all the data from the servers live in real time. It's quite power intensive, but it's actually just a beautiful, nice piece that to educate, but yet to also inspire. So this brings me on to the next point, is seeing stores and retail locations as retail theatre. Again, to really immerse people and inspire people in the areas. We have these physical spaces, let's make the most of them. We weren't part of this, but this is a really cool installation I like for Nike Flyknit, in which they commissioned an artist to do this installation. So it was using these threads, so it's as if you were walking through the Nike Flyknit trainer, which is a really powerful idea. And again, like, no tech, just a really cool, beautiful, artistic idea that immerses people in their brand and inspires on store visits. So again, we're a digital agency, but we're not all about digital. We like to engage people through sensory, physical, theatrical, and digital elements. It's not just a screen here, there, and everywhere, or iBeacon for iBeacon's sake. It's inspiring people through all these mediums and how these mediums come together in an artistic manner to express a brand. So with that in mind, this is a holographic projection we did for Alfred Dunhill. which was bringing Trafalgar, bringing London seasons to Shanghai. So it was a fashion show in which you had a holographic foil placed over it. And the magic really started when the animation started to appear around the models, which you'll see in a second, which is a really powerful piece. And the cool thing about it as well, after the show, the holographic foil was lifted and the audience members were able to get onto the stage with the models. So it creates this kind of surreal, what just happened moment, which is what we like to do at Holition, create impact, be disruptive. Again, live musicians, there was artists behind the scenes, like doing sketches live and stuff. Just a really well thought out theatrical experience. And I think that this unique mixture of theatre and retail is definitely the future. I just let it play out for a sec. I still really like it. Just show you guys the snow globe at the end. I thought it's the coolest bit. So that this was the ending where this the models become immersed in the snow globe for winter, of course, which was just before the moment where they lifted the foil and everyone could get on stage. Cool. And finally, I'm going to touch on wearable tech. It's a kind of a big buzzword going around at the moment, and we've delved into it a little bit. So we find that wearable tech at the moment, there's a lot of selfish data going out there at the moment. It's it's receiving a Twitter update, it's receiving an Instagram like on a really small screen on the palm of your hand. And I still think we're not quite yet there. And how can that be pushed forward? How can we kind of inspire people through that a little further? And there's some really cool ideas with big data. So, for example, instead of if you get a notification that Usain Bolt has just won gold at the Olympics, what about if that data could be personalized? So Usain Bolt wins the gold based on your run this morning. This is how long it would take you to run that, and to actually to engage the consumer to that extra level that isn't just kind of throwaway data. I think is kind of really interesting. We do a lot of kind of creative collaborations at Holition with artists to kind of keep us fresh. So this is a project, a wearable project we did with a lady called Lauren Boker, who's part of a company called The Unseen. And this is at Somerset House at the moment, if anyone wants to check it out. And essentially, she has a color-changing fabric that can be hooked up to data. So this was hooked up to an ECG headset, in which you could wear this headset and your emotions were transmitted via color, which is, I think, a big, powerful idea. And this was specifically an artistic piece, but what about in the future, people who can't express their emotions can do through wearables somehow? And again, this ties into us again. It was a beautiful, nice, cool piece, and inspires our thinking on kind of other projects. So yeah, how can there's so much data going around at the moment, and visualizing it can be so powerful and so eye-opening, such as lists, such as wearables. So how can we kind of push that forward? I think definitely is the future. So yeah, so what is the future? I think it's a kind of, to summarize, not trying to kind of shoehorn mobile for the sake of using mobile in store, creating beautiful experiences, inspiring the consumers in store by using art, using digital, using physical installations to bring retail spaces to life and to inspire one another, seeing retail spaces as a canvas to storytell, using some of the retail theatre elements that I was talking about earlier. And yeah, that's me, guys. Thank you.